Yo, today we're gonna be talking about the rapper Lil Zay Osama. Yo, I've been seeing this surface like a couple of days ago. I just had to get my mind wrapped around back doing reactions and stuff. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna just hop and do a reaction today. And a good one would be Lil Zay Osama. All right, Lil Zay Osama, right? After this, we're going to get into it. But look, the Negro, I don't know if you can say beat it or what, because you still get found guilty of something and you still get sentenced to time. But on the other end, you can look at it like you done beat something because you didn't get extensive amount of time for the crime. You get what I'm saying? So some people look at certain shit like, yo, they beat this or they beat that. Beating it is like, yo, getting found not guilty or that shit getting dismissed, thrown out completely. But yo, little Zay Osama, right? I don't know what the world this dude was thinking and stuff, right? And if you ask me, anybody 35 and under is still young minded to me. I don't go around here considering no 30-year olds, no 32, 35-year olds grown minded because mugs still go out here and commit acts as if they were still 16 or 17. Now, Lil Zay Osama probably like in his 20s or something like that. I give him that. You get what I'm saying? But look, what will possess you in your mind, right? You gets caught with a gun, right? In a Uber. You forgets a gun in a Uber, right? In New York City, where they don't play around with the firearm cases or none of that. It's mandatory sentences in New York if you get caught with that blick. You get what I'm saying? Not only that, this Negro got caught with a firearm that was considered a machine gun. Like it was a switch attachment with the gun, a Glock or whatever the case may be. So he leaves the gun inside of the Uber, goes about his business to a recording session or whatever the case may be. This is the prior shit. I ain't talking about what happened recently, but this is prior. He leaves forgets how you forget a gun in a goddamn Uber. But once the Uber driver realized, like, yo, my passenger that just got out of here, which was Lil Zay Osama, that left a firearm in here. I'm not gonna drive back to the studio and let this man know, like, yo, you done left your thing in the car. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna call authorities. So that's what the Uber driver did. The Uber driver called authorities, right? And that's how little Zay Osama got apprehended with that goddamn gun case in New York and shit, right? They dropped one charge, right? And then somehow the Negro ended up getting 14 months federal time, right? Now, 85% of 14 months ain't nothing. You get what I'm saying? So that man only had to do probably, I don't know how many months he had to do. Yo, it's a whole lot of allegations out here about Lil Zay Osama far as like everybody know you get caught with a gun in New York. They is not playing with people when you get caught with a gun in New York. So let alone the nigga gets caught with a firearm in New York, but that ain't the kicker. The gun is considered a machine gun because of the switch attachments. You get what I'm saying? So how did he get 14 months out of that? So evidently he went and served his time or whatever the case may be, which leads us to this incident recently that happened. So we ready to jump into it. Lil Zay Osama, dummy, he a dodo. And I'm gonna start making a playlist of dodos. Yeah, that dodo done it playlist. You get what I'm saying? Because motherfucker be doing the most dodo ish out here. I got to watch my link. I'm like, I'm monetized and I ain't getting no bread from none of my reactions. So I was like, yo, I got to clean my act up. You get what I'm saying? I'm doing too much vulgar language and stuff. I got to, you get what I'm saying? I got to find out how I can goddamn be less profanative on here, if that's a word. But yo, we ready to get into this. All right. Make sure my reading together this morning. Damn. Two people were arrested Thursday night for allegedly robbing two video. Oh, damn. Oh my God. I knew my reading won't right this morning. Two people were arrested Thursday night for allegedly robbing two videographers. uh, if I'm saying that correctly, my mind ain't right this morning, y'all. So y'all bear with me. At a fake music video set at a Los Angeles smoke shop, then leading authorities on a pursuit, police said. According to the Los Angeles Police Department, officers responded to a whatever smoke shop, the name of the smoke shop on Melrose Avenue around 9 p.m. All right. The suspects had lured the videographers videographers to the location under the impression that they were they would be filming a music video, police said. When the videographers arrived, the suspects held them at gunpoint and pistol whipped them, taken off with firearms and jewelry, police said. What? Taken off with firearms and jewelry. So you mean to tell me they ran with firearms, like they took firearms off of the other individuals or something? Like make that make sense. All right. One of the victims last hold on. Damn, I'm going too fast. One of the victims lost several teeth while the other suffered a cut to the head. Wow. Police said the suspects then took off in two separate vehicles, a yellow Lamborghini Urus and a black BMW. Police said they tracked down the Lamborghini about 30 minutes later in the San Fernando Valley. Hold on. Police said they tracked down the Lamborghini about 30 minutes later in the Fernando Valley and a chase ensued. The pursuit lasted about 14 minutes before it was handed off to California Highway Patrol officers in Ventura. LAPD assisted Ventura County Sheriff's Department as CHP officers during the pursuit. Eventually, Ventura County Sheriff's deputies took two suspects into custody in Santa Rosa Valley. The two suspects weren't immediately identified. Meanwhile, the suspects in the black BMW remain at large. All right. Police said there were 8 suspects total, and one of them is believed to be Lil Zay Osama, a rapper from Chicago. Like I was just saying, a dodo, and then like I was reading in the comments on another thing that was talking about this, and like some of the people were saying like your moves that you making and stuff is like of a broke hood nigga. Like you know how you be when you first trying to get on. That's how Lil Zay acting. Why would you set up two guys to make it look like you trying to set up a music video? You call up these individuals, try to act like you trying to set up a music video or whatever, and then you get them robbed, and you get what I'm saying. You take their things and stuff, their belongings or whatever the case may be. If you got all this money and this and that, now I used to see got their clippings and shit, people sharing of this nigga in Icebox, the jewelry place with platinum chains, all of that shit don't mean shit, man. Cause all of that shit be moissanite to me, really. You get what I'm saying? Now that I'm coming to find out that these rappers be having fake jewelry, the rappers that you all love and shit. You get what I'm saying? But yo, that's uncommon, yo. Like we never hear of cases like this. We are not talking about this case. We are talking about the other case that Lil Zay Osama was in. How you forget You left a Glock switch, a Glock with a switch inside of an Uber. I'll find out who the goddamn Uber driver was, man, and I'll put hands and feet on him. Like I'll get my niggas to do it, though. I wouldn't do it. But instead of the Uber driver going, like the Uber driver drops Lil Zay Osama off at a music video. I mean, at a recording session or whatever the case may be. This was like last year or 2 years ago or however long it was, right? Lil Zay Osama get hops out the goddamn Uber, goes in the little shit. The Uber driver noticed a gun in the goddamn back. Instead of him going to goddamn get Lil Zay Osama, like, yo, you done left your thing in the car. Come and get it. You get what I'm saying? Instead of him doing that, the goddamn Uber driver notified the police. And once the police got involved, that's when you get what I'm saying. They took that shit to court or whatever the case may be, and then the feds took over the Lil Zay Osama thing. Do y'all know they found him guilty, right? And just they dropped one charge and just gave him 14 months. Now, in the feds, 85% of 14 months. Y'all do the math. I ain't ready to do the math on that. But the nigga is out here because he got caught up in this little bullshit right here. So y'all know that everybody else that got caught with guns in New York had to do a mandatory three. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. Because what the hell happened with Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne ain't do nothing but like a year in Rikers Island or some shit like that. So I don't know what to say about certain cases and shit. And it is up to like the legal defense. You get what I'm saying? That plays a whole lot with this shit. But for Lil Zay Osama to get only 14 months for getting caught with a gun that's considered a machine gun, because once you add attachments to it, it's considered a machine gun. So that what his charge was. So they sentenced that man to 14 months in federal custody and shit, right? This was like a year or two ago or however long ago it was, right? So now he gets caught up in his name, get caught up in this. So now his argument can be like, hey, I don't know what his argument gonna be, because the photographers or whoever the fuck these dudes were and shit, right? It depends on if he done reached out to them on the low, like, yo, I'm ready to pay y'all under the table, man. Don't put my name in this shit, man. Like, you get what I'm saying? It was my homie. I don't know what to say about this shit, but for a dude to be somewhat getting bread, making money, major, or whatever the case may be, and for to be setting up some goddamn videographers to be robbed and shit like that, says a lot about your financial situation. Or you can still be one of those individuals, like no matter how much money you get, the trenches still be in you. So I'm playing devil's advocate on that end. I ain't trying to say the nigga got there hurting and back wanting to got there and get back into the limelight and shit, but motherfuckers probably still be having money, but the trenches still be with them. You get what I'm saying? But we're gonna listen to 1090 Jake and shit too. He gonna talk about the gun case that I'm talking about, which he's still supposed to be doing time for. That's why I'm bringing this stuff up. He's still supposed to be doing time for this, for that, right? So you do whatever time you say, 85% of that. So out from the feds and stuff. So now you home. Now you gets caught up in this situation. Tells me like, yo, what? You trying to go back in or something? Because this is armed robbery. You get what I'm saying? So this is armed. So anything dealing with armed robbery is pistol play, meaning that you presented guns on somebody to take their goods or items or whatever the case may be. And let alone in the thing, it says something about firearm and jewelry and shit was taken, right? So you mean to tell me that y'all ran off with firearms as well? Because stolen firearms is what be getting these motherfuckers on federal time too. You get what I'm saying? But let me grab my other phone and we're gonna get into 1090 Jake explaining more about Lil Zay Osama gun case that he had previously. Y'all bear with. This is crazy right here, boy. It's like you ain't learned nothing.
identify Lil Zay Osama as the fully breaking it down. On November 7th, Chicago rapper Lil
Hold on.
Zay Osama stood in front of a federal judge in Brooklyn, New York. It was sentencing day, and Zay had pled guilty back in May to one count of possession of a machine gun. On September 29th, 2022, an Uber driver picked up Zay and several associates from a hotel in Manhattan. The driver would notice Zay was holding a firearm during the ride. Dropping them off at a recording studio in Queens, the driver saw they'd left the gun in the vehicle, so the driver called the police. NYPD would locate the .40 caliber Glock 22 with a switch, loaded with 1 round in the chamber and 9 more in the mag. When asked, the driver would identify Lil Zay Osama as the one who possessed it. This statement alone was enough to build a Fed case.
What's happening?
Just put your hands behind your back.
What happened? We're gonna short it all up. We're gonna short it all up. What is going on? We're gonna short it all up. I'm the man. I'm being detained right now. So back up. I'm just.
You get my phone though? Yeah, you got anything on you? I do this phone.
I'm on live, sir.
U.S. attorneys would submit a letter requesting to keep Zay in federal custody, labeling him a danger to society, and even quoting some of his lyrics, one of which stated, "Just got a brand new Glock with a 50 and a switch." The then 25-year-old had already been convicted of criminal trespassing, reckless conduct, 3 counts of robbery, aggravated battery, and aggravated discharge of a firearm. Zay would be held in custody and only released after paying a $350,000 bond. In January of 2024, he'd officially be indicted on 1 count of possession of a machine gun and 1 count of possession of an unregistered firearm. Everyone expected this to be the rapper's demise. Fast forward to November 7th, Zay, having pled guilty to the machine gun and getting the second charge dropped, was only sentenced to 14 months in federal prison, followed by 1 year of supervised release. Only having to serve 85% of his sentence, Zay will be home in less than a year. Immediately, he'd be accused online of snitching, solely because of the fact that he didn't get a decade or more in prison. So how did he get such a sweet deal? First off, 90% of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. A switch without a gun is still considered a machine gun. A switch and a gun is clearly a machine gun, and a machine gun under federal law is punishable by up to 10 years in federal prison, meaning you can get anywhere from supervised release, aka probation, to the max 10 years, depending on a few different factors. But as soon as the internet hears 10, they assume you'll just get 10 years for a switch. During Zay's plea deal, the courts calculated his offense level as 15 and criminal history as 2. The guideline range for this level scored out to 21 to 27 months in prison, or just over 2 years. Zay's lawyer would counter with a 7-month prison sentence, highlighting how Zay's felony convictions came from when he was a juvenile at just 15 and 16 years old. As an adult, he'd only been convicted of 2 misdemeanors. His lawyer would speak on his Chicago upbringing and how at only 14, Zay was shot in the chest. His lawyer would also cite multiple cases in which defendants were sentenced to less than the guidelines. Taking it a step further, his lawyer would point out the unlivable conditions Zay had to endure while inside of MDC Brooklyn as rats and roaches flooded the facility. Inmates would suffer indefinite lockdowns, imposing solitary confinement-like conditions, furthering mental health issues, and leading to multiple inmates being killed. Zay's lawyer, Don Florio, was lawyering her ass off. Zay was in New York to perform at Rolling Loud. He was on his way to an interview when a firearm was left behind, and that firearm wasn't linked to any previous crimes. Zay's lawyer would again take it a step even further, pointing out rappers are often targeted for their wealth, and just 17 days before Zay was arrested, rapper PNB Rock was shot and killed during a robbery for his jewelry. The lawyer would top it all off with the statistical fact that according to the Sentencing Commission, between 2015 and 2023, there were 49 individuals in the Eastern District of New York sentenced for firearm-related offenses, with the median sentence being only 19 months. Zay had already served 8 months total fighting this case, and another 4 months from a state case, meaning he's already been incarcerated for 12 months. Now, the U.S. attorney would argue back, highlighting Zay's DNA was found on the weapon, and request he be sentenced to 27 months in federal prison. They'd also try to assassinate his character, speaking on Zay's 2023 arrest, following a high-speed chase in Illinois, where police found a Glock 29 with a laser extended magazine and a switch, and a Glock 19 with a 50-round drum and deface serial number. At the time, Zay was wearing a $90,000 necklace that was allegedly, according to the U.S. attorney, stolen during an armed robbery in New York. At no time was cooperation ever brought up in this case. At no time did Zay ever point the finger, arguing the weapon belonged to anyone else, and at no time did his lawyer or the U.S. attorney highlight a 5K1 or any other factors that would have reduced his sentencing by cooperating. In the end, Zay would receive 14 months in prison, 1 year of supervised release, and a recommendation that he be housed in FCI Thompson, closer to his family in Chicago. With the internet claiming Zay must have ratted, he'd take to his Instagram story addressing the rumors saying, "Stop believing everything you hear or see on the internet. You really think you can get 30 years for a switch? Hell no. I don't care what state you in. Facts. But switches is dangerous and carry 3 or 4 years, maybe less, depending on your background. But they becoming a problem in a lot of cities, so it might be worse for you. Different strokes for different folks. I caught a blessing. Don't look at my situation and think you need a switch, because it can end bad for you. Stop playing with snitching for real. Have 1090 Jake look up my switch case." Now, not only did Zay get a sweet deal, but he's also signed to Warner Records, could afford a $350,000 bond, and a New York top lawyer. So to sum it all up, if you ain't rich, don't tote a switch. Nah, I'm just playing. To sum it all up, because of his...
So that was his previous charge. You get what I'm saying? That was his previous incident. So the man looked like he got there. His MO and stuff is normally got their armed robberies and setting people up and stuff. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, he done did that little time or whatever for that little gun case in New York and stuff, right? Federal stuff, right? So to my knowledge, you still be on some type of parole or probation or something for so many years and shit after you get out the Fed. So this little incident that happened with him right here, the new incident, is automatically a violation of shit, right? He done fucked up or something, right? You get what I'm saying? Because they implemented his name in this shit. And it's his MO. You get what I'm saying? Like setting up somebody like a robbery type shit for somebody to get something taken from them. So they're going to look at it like, it depends on what them video graphers say and shit. Like, was he there or did he call and didn't show up, but other niggas came before he came? Like, it's a whole lot to this shit. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, some other individuals got away, but 2 was apprehended, if I'm not mistaken. So who's to say if them dudes be on some shit like, yeah, Lil Zay playing this shit. Yeah, that's my homie. He was the one that told us to go get these dudes or whatever. But yeah, man. Like I said, man, it's always a way that somebody is going to break something down for you to have another a better understanding. But when you hear talk of somebody getting caught with a switch, right? But not only that, in New York, where the gun laws and shit is very strict and mandatory if you get found guilty. You get what I'm saying? But They swooped that shit on up to the federal level. The man got 14 months. You get what I'm saying? And like from what I've been hearing from other federal guys and shit, they go off of your criminal background. That means what was you doing before you came to the feds? Like what you did when you was in your teens, if that shit on record or whatever. In the federal system, they calculate all of that shit up too. Like it's a point system. Like driving with no license, DUIs, all of that shit counts as certain points in the feds or something. Like your old criminal record. That's what I was told. You get what I'm saying from federal people that I know. You get what I'm saying? So evidently, his points, the little stuff that he was getting jammed up for out here, he wasn't getting found guilty for it in state court, or he was just getting slaps on the wrist or whatever. But if he was found guilty of those charges and shit, it would have played a part in his sentences guideline in the federal shit. You get what I'm saying? So evidently, that's why he ain't do number. He was sentenced to just 14 months because of his points. His points wasn't that high and shit like that. So I don't know. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, another dodo. You somewhat beat a gun case in New York, somewhat, because when I say somewhat, you ain't do no 3 years, you ain't do no 5, you ain't do no 10 years. You get what I'm saying? You basically got a slap on the wrist by the feds and stuff. Now you get to go out here and brag that you went to the feds. And that's what I said in the previous video. The federal government is all they doing is making it easy for these dudes to go out here to get apprehended and be in their system. All they do is come out and brag and be like, yeah, I'd have been to the feds. Fuck state prison, I'd have been to the feds. What's so different about the feds and the state? See, when we was younger and shit like that, when you heard about somebody going to the feds and stuff, it was like for major drugs and shit. Now the federal government is making it easy for any old willy-nilly to go to the feds. And then all that shit does is give a motherfucker bragging rights when they come out this bitch. Oh yeah, I done went to the feds. Yes, man, fuck that shit. You get what I'm saying? That's how I look at the shit. That's all the feds doing is giving motherfuckers bragging rights. They just sending motherfuckers to the Fed for any little thing. And these niggas get to come home and brag about that shit. Oh yeah, I done did such and such month. The judge sentenced me to 90 months or 70 months in the federal system, such and such. You ain't gonna tell people the whole time you was in that bitch boo-hooing and crying and shit to be home and being a bugaboo to your goddamn girl and family members and shit wanting to come home. You ain't gonna say that, but you'll goddamn act like you done stood on your tens and stuff, walking them USP yards and them FCI yards and shit. Mediums and lows and shit like that. Once you make it to the lows, you ain't got shit to worry about in the camps and shit. Unless you get in trouble and then you got there, get your shit sent back to the medium or the USPs and shit. But other than that, that's all people doing there is they like the federal government is giving these guys, these black men, these black individuals and shit, bragging rights. Oh yeah, I done been to the feds and shit. They just sending motherfuckers to the feds for any little thing. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, this man got 14 months in the feds. A year and a half ago for goddamn getting caught with a goddamn a Glock with a switch in New York City. You get what I'm saying? Salute, man.